you?
I don't see you. No, I don't see you either. Now I see you. Okay, you're right there.
Yes, I'm right there. I am the one controlling the video. Okay, everybody.
You only see a face.
Okay. Now is it good?
No, it's still not good.
It's still not good. Okay, yeah, how about now? Anyways, before I tell you,
What's his name?
okay, that's exactly what I'm getting to.
What is his name?
Anyways, the number to text in 347-927-8398. 347-927-8398. That's the number to text in. And this caller is going to call. And I'm going to ask him a couple of questions.
Does he know about the questions that you're asking?
Does he know about the question? Of course he knows about the question I'm going to ask. Question is, if he knows what I'm going to ask.
I hear the trick.
That's right. It's a good trick. Anyways, this week's Parsha. Netzavim vayelch. It's a week before Rosh Hashanah. It's a long week before Rosh Hashanah. 1 week. Till we have our new year. Till we have a year. Taiva, hopefully. Lebracha, hopefully. And this is the last Shabbos that we have for this year. We can make up for it. You know, Parsha says, Atem netzavim hayom. Tzavim hayom. You're standing here. Standing where? What are you talking about? What are we talking about? What do you mean we're standing? We're standing. What? Who? When? What? Where? Standing? What's going on? What does it mean standing? How are we standing? Why are we standing? Well, the Torah says Atam netzavim, and then there's a medrash that says, and believe it or not, this medrash is the most interesting medrash I've ever heard in my life. This medrash says, this medrash is, all right. Hello, Rav David.
Yes.
Yes, okay. So, Rav David, I can't pronounce your last name, unfortunately, but
Schlachter.
Rav David Schlachter he's a storyteller and an amazing storyteller. He was, how many tapes were you on to begin with?
How many tapes was I on?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how many tapes I was on, but I have a little YouTube channel where we make little skits for kids.
Okay. So, Rav David, we're all anticipating an amazing, fantastic story that you prepared, and we're all very waiting anxiously to listen to it, if you don't mind.
Oh, okay, so I guess I will begin.
All right.
Okay, so once upon a time, a long time ago, let's say it was 300 or 400 years ago. Maybe we're thinking about the time of when the Vilna Gaon lived. Right around that time, somewhere in Europe, when Europe was full of forests and small towns and little shtetls, there was a man named Yankel. And Yankel used to travel from shtetl to shtetl because he was an expert woodcutter. And he would help the different shtetls. He would cut down the wood around the shtetls, and he would go sell them for the winter firewood, and then he would move on. So Yankel was doing his regular task and regular daily duties, and he was just walking from town to town. Oh, I'm going to now go to the next little shtetl, and here I see one coming up on the road. I'm going to see, just a nice little town, and I'm going to go ahead and cut some wood and see what else they need, a little this, a little of that. And I'm going to go ahead and hopefully we'll have a good day. I'm going to dive into Hashem, and everything should be all right. So He had finished davening, and he had a very small breakfast, and he went into the town. And when he went into the town, something was very, very strange. He noticed the people were very, very nervous. So he went over to a local person and said, "Hi, I'm Yanko. I'm new in town. I travel, and I cut wood, and I do little things here and there, and I want to help you out. Could you tell me what's maybe going on? Why is everyone so nervous?" So this woman says, "Hey, I'm telling you, this is so bad. This is so bad. I can't even talk to you. This is so bad." And she runs away. That's weird. He sees another person. He goes, "Oh, excuse me, gentlemen. My name is Yanko. Why don't you tell me what's going on here?" So the gentleman looks at him and says, "You know, Yankel, you seem like a nice little fellow. If I were you, I would turn around and go the other way. Go out of this town immediately." Yankel was very intrigued. So he kept going on until he found the local shul. And he saw the local shul. It was a nice little wooden building, and it had some Hebrew letters on it, and he walked inside. And there he saw a whole bunch of the congregation milling about. And he goes into the shul, and he sees that the rabbi is talking to a whole bunch of people. And they're all yelling and shouting at the rabbi, "What are we going to do? What are we going to do?" And they're all yelling and shouting. So Yanko moves his way up, and he's trying to listen to see what's going on. And he finds out exactly what's happening. So the rabbi's saying, "Okay, this is the problem. We have a giant who lives right outside of town. And this giant is making life very, very hard for everybody in the shtetl." So Yanko was very, very curious. He says, "Really? What did the giant do?" "Well, this giant is so big. He was jumping rope. And as he was jumping rope, he was stomping. The next day, it rained. All of his footprints turned into large puddles. And we could not grow anything over there because it was in the carrot field, and nothing would grow because it was flooded. All his footprints turned into puddles, into large lakes." Well, okay, that's bad, but what else is going on? "Well, he was once trying to practice juggling with boulders. Boulders are large rocks. He was trying to practice his juggling, and he's juggling, and one of the big rocks landed right on the main road leading out of town. And now, horse and wagons cannot go back and forth. You came to town because you came by foot, but horse and wagons cannot go because the road is blocked by the boulder." So Yanko was thinking, "Yes, I do remember that. I remember seeing the boulder on the road. I thought it was very interesting. Usually a town wants to take toll, or they want people to pay on the road. I never saw that they put a boulder on the road. That's very interesting. I never knew about that. What else does the giant do?" Anyway, this is what happened. We went and we figured, you know what we're going to do? We're going to send the tallest man in town to go talk to this giant. So we talked to our good Gabbai. His name was Shimshon. Shimshon is a very tall man. He's 5'7". That's very tall for a Jewish person. We said, "Okay, Shimshon, you go out and you talk to the giant. Maybe the giant will be scared of you because you're so tall." So Shimshon went, and Yanko was looking around, and he saw that Shimshon was sitting in the corner. He was looking all embarrassed. So he says, "Hey, Shimshon, maybe you want to tell me what happened?" So Shimshon says, "Well, it was very, very bad. I went out. I went to the town. I went out, and I spoke to the giant. Before I could get 2 words out, the giant picks up the biggest tree in the forest and snaps it in half and starts laughing, and I knew he would snap me in half also. I ran back." Yanko understood this was very, very bad. This was terrible. How could the people live with such a giant that's terrorizing the town? This was really, really, really not a good thing for the town. Anyway, he went around and he found a little food to eat for breakfast, like I said. And then he realized he wasn't going to make much work that in town. Everyone was worried about the giant. Until the giant left, he wasn't going to make parnasa. So he tells the rabbi, "Rabbi, okay, I am going to defeat the giant. Everyone looked at Yankel. What? Yes, I am going to defeat the giant. They all looked at him.
But you're like 5'4", and you're like a small man. How are you going to defeat the giant who's like much bigger?
So he said, okay, mit betochen, I'm going to have faith in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I'm going to defeat the giant. But I'm going to need a few things, and I could do it tomorrow morning. So the rabbi said, okay, if you think you could defeat the giant, okay, we'll be very, very happy for you. This is going to be really great. So tell me, what do you need?
Well, I need 3 things. I need a knapsack that has a ball of cheese. I need a straw. And I need a feather.
That's it? With a straw and a bowl of cheese and a feather? You're going to defeat the giant?
Yes, I'm going to defeat the giant with these things. They all started laughing at him. Yankel, you're a stranger to the town. You must be cuckoo. Maybe you should go have a nap or a sleep because you're obviously something's wrong with you. Don't worry. This is what I need.
Okay. The rabbi shushed everybody. Listen, everybody. This seems like a nice man. If he says he could help, does it hurt us to give him a bowl of cheese, a straw, and a feather to let him go defeat the giant? Okay. Tomorrow he will defeat the giant or he won't. But we are not worse off if he tries. He spent the day and he ate, and he was a special guest by the rabbi, and he slept over by the rabbi's house that night. Next morning, they davened Shachris, and he put his tefillin away, and then the Rebbitzin came over, and a few people from town came over, and a local farmer gave him a knapsack and a bowl of cheese, and a local woodworker had made a straw out of wood, gave him the straw of wood, and the shoichet had some feathers left over from some of the chickens, gave him a feather from the chicken. They both put it in the knapsack, and then they started walking him out of town. And as he started walking toward the edge of town, the whole entire town gathered around. And the rabbi said, I want this to be a blessed day. We should all have faith in HaKadosh Baruch Hu that this man is going to defeat the giant. So everybody, please, say a kapitel of Tefillin, daven for the success of his avodah, that he's going to save the town, and we wish him mazel tov. Hatzlucha Rabbe. Okay, and with that, Yankel was off. Yankel put on the knapsack and started walking out of town. He passed by the big boulder, and the boulder was like 10 feet tall. He says, wow, if a giant could put that there, then the giant must be really big. And he keeps going, and he passes by the forest, and he sees the large footprints that were turned into lakes. He goes, wow, if that's a giant's feet, this giant must be big. And he sees the cracked tree on the ground. He goes, wow, that's a big tree. If a giant could grab that tree, then that giant must be very big. Anyway, he's walking in the forest in the edge of town, and all of a sudden he hears rumbling. And then he there's some crackling of the trees, and the forest starts moving as if it's dancing, and out from between the trees comes a huge giant. Now this giant must have been up to the sky almost. He's very, very tall. Maybe not as tall as Og Melech HaBashan, but he's tall. He's a big giant. And Yankel looks up, and he smiles, and he says,
Hello, Mr. Giant. My name is Yankel. I just came into town.
do you perhaps need me to help you cut some wood? The giant laughed.
You think I need you to help me cut down wood?
And his laugh even made the trees shake, and they were blowing in the wind of his laugh. So Yankel looks at him, and he's with a smile still on his face, and says, well, okay, you don't need me to help you cut wood. Well, let me tell you the truth. I was sent by the town to defeat you. The giant looks at this little man and says,
You came to defeat me? You are ridiculous. You cannot defeat me. You are so small.
Yankel just looked up at the giant, the smile still on his face. Well, if you think so, why don't we have a contest? Let's see who's stronger. The giant looked at Yankel and was puzzled. Was this puny, tiny, little man with a long brown beard and payas, was he really challenging me and telling me that he could defeat me? The giant thought for a second. Was it a trick? No, it can't be a trick. This man just must be ridiculous.
Okay, okay. You want to challenge me in a match of muscles and might? No problem. I will defeat you. You can even choose what we do in the challenge.
That's exactly what Yankel wanted to hear. So he said, okay, then I have a series of challenges. Okay, the first thing is, I am going to blow this leaf. This feather. He pulls out the feather from his knapsack, and he puts it on his palm, and he blows the feather. And the feather flies maybe like 3 or 4 feet and falls to the floor. The giant laughed.
That is nothing. Watch this.
He takes in a deep breath. And he huffs, and 5, 6 trees in the forest blow and snap and smash down to the ground. That's pretty impressive, Mr. Giant, Yankel said. All right. Okay, we're going to try another challenge. And we're going to try a second part. Instead of blowing a leaf, I'm going to throw a pebble. He picks up a pebble from the ground, a small little rock, and he throws it. And maybe it goes, 50 feet. He throws the pebble down, throws it as hard as he could, and the pebble goes over 50 feet. The giant looks at him.
I could throw a rock much longer than that.
So Yankel looks at the giant with a smile and says, well, how about that rock? He points straight to the rock that is on the road that is blocking town, the main road of town that's blocking the main road. The giant looks at it.
No problem.
The giant picks up that rock and throws it with all his might. Maybe it went a mile, a mile into the forest. And he threw that huge rock that was at once blocking the road in and out of town. He threw it a mile into the forest. Now, Yankel says, okay, it is time for our second challenge. The second challenge is who could drink more. Yankel takes out a straw out of his backpack, and he bends down to a small little puddle. And this puddle was maybe the size that maybe a duck couldn't even walk into. It was even too small for that. Small little puddle. He bends down, and he starts drinking with a straw. And now it's time for me to make boiling fushes. Boiling fushes, rabbis, gesun alcohol, mash, brosoi. Okay, makes boiling fushes. The giant looks at him.
I can easily drink that bottle, no problem.
So Yankel says, well, can you drink those puddles? And he points right to the footprints lakes. The giant says,
no problem.
He bends down and he starts drinking. And he drinks. And he drinks. And he drinks. And after about 10, 15 minutes of drinking, he slowly gets up off his knees and he stands back up. But he drank all the puddles and all the footprint lakes were now drained. Oh, but now the giant's belly was full of water. And now he was starting to feel it.
Oh, that was too much water.
Oh. Yankel looks to the giant who doesn't let up. We have one more challenge, don't forget. The giant looks at Yankel. What's the last challenge? Can you make water come out of a rock? What? Yes. Are you able to squeeze a rock so strongly that you can make water come out of that rock? In the Torah, it says that Moshe Rabbeinu was able to make water come out of a rock. And he was able to defeat a giant. He killed Og Melech HaBashan, the greatest giant that ever lived. So, can you make water come out of the rock? So, the giant picks up a large boulder that fits in his big, meaty hands, and he starts squeezing. And he's squeezing, but the schwitz is coming out of his face because he drank so much water and used all his koyach to throw the boulder and all his koyach to blow down the trees that he was now tired. And he squeezed the rock, but he couldn't. There was no more strength in him. He couldn't do anything. And of course, water would not come out of the rock. Yankel put down his bag very calmly, looked up at the giant, smiled and said, "Watch this." Picked up the ball of cheese and squeezed. And the ball of cheese started leaking water down. The giant's eyes grew wide. He started trembling, and he realized if Yankel could squeeze water out of a rock, he must be like Moshe Rabbeinu, who defeated Og Melech HaBashan. The giant turned around, and he ran the other way. And he didn't stop running until he could not run anymore. And from then on, the town never saw the giant again. That is the end of the story.
Wow. What a story. Well, what do you learn out from the story?
Well, I think you learn out of the story that, first of all, Hashem gives us a lot of challenges in life. And sometimes they look like giants compared to what we are. But no matter what our situation is, if we have a tachon in Hashem, we could figure out a solution either by us or by asking help from others, rabbanim or family members. But every challenge in life could be overcome. We just have to find the right solution.
Wow, that's an unbelievable story. That's impressive that little guy beat a big giant.
Indeed.
Yeah, that's amazing that you're a storyteller, and it's impressive that you use your ability. How many times have you told stories before an audience?
Many times. I've told stories at family events. I've told stories at yeshiva events. I've told at pirchei events and camp.
Wow.
Just to entertain kids. Teach them a little lesson, and show them that there's always a positive side of life. There's always something good, and let them take something good out of it, but also enjoy the story itself.
I'll tell you what I learned now from the story. No matter how big you are, you're always small.
That's a great lesson also. Don't think you're ever too big.
Right. That's what I learned out. Wow. Okay. That was an unbelievable story by Rav David Schlachter. If you want him to tell a story by your place, you want to give your number, or?
Yeah, sure.
Or would you rather do it privately, people texting, or how do you want to work it?
Yeah, people could text me, definitely. I'll give myself a number. People could text, and they could get in contact with me that way, whether it's text or phone call. It's 917-783-2555, 917-783-2555. Again, it's 917-783-2555. Also, for kosher entertainment, if you do have a filter and you're able to have YouTube, it's My Face Productions on YouTube. Search My Face Productions. My Face Productions on YouTube. You'll find everything there is child-friendly stories there.
Wow, this is so impressive. I'm glad we're able to actually have a story. It's been actually a long time since I actually had a guest on my phone. Forget about in the studio, on the phone. It's been since 6 months already from Corona. Beginning of coronavirus.
Yeah, I understand. All right, listen, maybe we come back another time.
They all dropped out. Because
I understand.
Yeah, but Baruch Hashem, I'm able to continue my shows, and it's not easy, but I'm able to do it. All right,
Listen, you do a lot. You do a lot of good also for the community with the talent shows and with the stories and the positive messages that you give out.
right. All right, thank you, Rev David, and Bezat Hashem in the near future again.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, bye bye.
Thank you for having me. Bye.
Wow. Huh, what a story. Let's get back to where I was holding. Back to Atem Netzavim Hayom. We were standing. Where are we standing, actually? We are standing. Should I tell you where we were standing? We're standing on the mountain, listening to Hashem's Torah. That's Atem Netzavim Hayom. Hayom stands for Yom Kippur. We are standing by Yom Kippur. You're standing right before the Yom Nadin, Yom HaJudgment. Rosh Hashanah is coming. And you know what, boys and girls, everybody who's listening, Rosh Hashanah is a very, very scary day. A really scary day. Now, why, people get emotional, people get this, and that's all great, that's fantastic. But the main part is not to get emotional, to get into that tefillah. We have to get into that tefillah. Recently, I was on the street, and I saw goyish teenagers on the street, right? They didn't start school yet in Brooklyn, in New York. And I went over to them. I saw them doing dangerous things, whatever it was. I went over to them. Excuse me. Can I ask what you're doing? He says, yeah, you know what I'm doing. I'm playing with fireworks. I said, I right away showed this boy a video, this teenager a video, 13-year-old, I believe he was. It happened a few weeks ago. I think it was, 2 weeks ago. And I show him a video that a Nabach guy blew off his arm, and I show him how dangerous this is. And then I told him, you have so much talent. You have a talent out there. Use your talent wisely. Don't waste it. Now, Hashem over here gives us a day like Rosh Hashanah. We're blowing shofar. Most of us are blowing shofar. Sephardim are saying slichas. And let's discuss this week, Motzei Shabbos, actually. We're going to start saying slichas. Ashkenazim are going to start saying slichos. And one of the most interesting thing there is Shema Kaleinu, Hashem Elokeinu. Now, let's ask everybody. Do we really want Hashem to hear our voice? Do we really want that? Or is it that Shema Kaleinu, Hashem Elokeinu? Do we put the feel into that? Do we have a feel of all those things? Shema Kaleinu, Hashem Elokeinu. Do we have a feel for that? Is there a feel in that? There's a feel. I can tell you, when I'm up to Shema Kaleinu, I start to cry. For one reason. Shema Kaleinu, not that Hashem should hear my voice. Shema Kaleinu for myself. Hear me. Hashem, hear me out. Right? I'm not caring about myself. In reality, I'm supposed to say, hear our voice. And I say to myself, Hashem, what am I? I'm Adam, I'm Afer, I'm Ashes, right? I'm not as great. I've done Avers. We all did Avers. Mazel tov to Shlomo Al-Arar. Oh, yeah, you're right. That was last time. Okay. Now, getting back to Shema Kaleinu, Hashem Elokeinu, Chus v'Rachem Aleinu. This Sunday is Slichas. And Slichas, for Ashkenazim, it's a Slichas. And Slichas is not just saying the words out. And, a lot of times kids feel that it's Slichas, the davening is very long, let's make it short. How can we make it short? Use that time. Hashem is giving you an extra moment to daven. Use it wisely. Use it wisely. Don't run away from that tefillah. Show Hashem, we're here. We're doing davening. We're not doing it for us. We're doing it because we love you, Hashem. We're doing it because I love you, Hashem, and I'm davening to you because I love talking to you. Not because I have to. Not because I'm forced to. Not because it's interesting. As a matter of fact, Slichas happens to be very, very interesting. I happen to find Slichas very interesting. The Ashrei, like the way they start, Ashrei Veisecho, right? When you're in a shul, they start, Oh, and then at the end of Ashrei, they say, Tihilas Hashem Yida Bepi Yivarech Kavasor Shenkachoy Li'olam Voed V'anachnu Nevarech Kol Yata V'yata Lom Hanenu. Right? They do a chazonis. The first night of Ashkenazim, they do it Matzah Shabbos. They're going to do Slichas Matzah Shabbos. And it's very emotional. It's not just emotions. It's really, we're doing this for ourselves. We have to show Hashem. We have to show the Rebbeinu Shalom that we're here. And the only reason why we're here, because we love Hashem. We love the shul. We're in yeshiva, right? Boys and girls, we're in yeshiva. And we're in school, right? We're showing, let's show Hashem, we're learning. Let's make this time, this week, it's a valuable week. It's right before Rosh Hashanah. This week can make up from all the other weeks. Imagine that. This coming Shabbos can make up for the whole entire year. You imagine one Shabbos, just one Shabbos? You imagine that. The whole entire year. It's a gavalt. That's crazy. It's amazing. It's unbelievable that Hashem gave us this chance, and we have to use this Shabbos, this week, as a week that we're going to do it. We're going to show Hashem that we're here. We love Him. And, Rosh Hashanah is a day where everything gets decreed. We all know Rosh Hashanah is a day. The day is a very holy day. This year, it's very interesting. They're not going to blow shofar erev Rosh Hashanah. They're going to blow shofar erev Rosh Hashanah. Usually, every year, what they don't do is blow shofar erev Rosh Hashanah. This year, they're going to blow shofar erev Rosh Hashanah. And this year, Rosh Hashanah, the first day, falls out on Shabbos. And, that's very an amazing thing when it falls out on Shabbos. It's unbelievable that it falls out on Shabbos and we have a time on Rosh Hashanah. You don't even have to think about Havdalah. You don't have, Rosh Hashanah is on Shabbos. It's relaxing. It's even more relaxing. It's even more covered. It's even more hailing. And, you even have more time because it's shorter. Shofar blowing, right? Rosh Hashanah is going to be shorter davening. It's going to be a much shorter davening by around a half hour. I believe I am right. 45, somebody told me 45 minutes just now. Okay, so 45 minutes, we're cutting it short, 45 minutes. And I really want to thank all my listeners. Recently, another story I'm going to say. In a small place, in a shtetl, there was a person. Rosh Hashanah is coming, and he's not there. He happens to be a big gadol, and he's not there. He's not in shul. Where is he? What happened to the gadol? On Rosh Hashanah, he's not there. What's going on? They're looking, and they're looking. The Mispalalim look all over for the gadol, and he's nowhere to be found until they hear the Rav's voice in somebody's apartment. They go to the Rav. I believe it was on Rosh Hashanah. I'm not going. Okay, they say it was Yom Kippur. All right, whatever it was or whatever day it was, right? It was one of the days It was one of the days of the Yom Noroyim, and it was one of the Heilige days, and the Gadol was in somebody's. And this comes to show you what was the Gadol doing. Everybody's thinking, what in the world? Gadol HaTorah is the Chacham is in the house on the most Heilige days where you're supposed to be in a base medrash. What's going on? Is he feeling okay? And they knock on the door respectfully, and they say, Rebbe, we're waiting for you. Where are you? What's going on? And they see the Rebbe put his hands to his lips. You're going to wake up the baby. And you know what? This should be our life from this story. Hashem doesn't want us to go first. Hashem doesn't want to be first. Hashem wants you to treat your friend first. Imagine that. Treat your neighbor first, right? Let's say you're walking down the street, you see a pauper, poor person, right? Poor person. Even if you don't have anything, at least to wish him have a great day. I'll tell you one thing. I passed by a beggar recently, and I told him, unfortunately, I don't have anything, but I wish you best of luck and have a great day. Tears fell out. I couldn't believe it myself. Tears fell out of the guy's eyes. I was like, what happened? What happened? What are you crying for? He said, you're the first person today that told me have a good day and good luck. Everybody just walks by me that I'm a piece of garbage. I'm not going to say the other word. He told me a different word, but I said to myself, just one word, just 2 words. Good day, have a good day. 3 words, have a good day. The person could make his day, make his life. Forget about day. And this is a lesson that we can all learn. It's a lesson. This week, we have to tear the heavens open. We have to tear Shemayim open. Not on Rosh Hashanah. This week, Shabbos, Sunday, Friday, this week, we have to tear it open. Tear it. Like, totally tear it. Because if not, as we saw, there was a Magefa, this virus. The virus was decreed. When was it decreed? On Rosh Hashanah. It doesn't have to be a reason why it's decreed. The 10 Chachamim that were killed, we discussed on Yom Kippur. There was no reason that they're killed. There was a reason because they were Makadesh Shem Shemayim. That's the only reason why. Hashem decreed it to happen. That's the only reason why it happened. And the virus is the same way. Hashem decreed it to happen. Did we do our virus? Yes, we did our virus. So we have to look into ourselves. I'm going to say it quick because I only have a few more minutes and I'm ending shortly. We have a few more days to show Hashem. Hashem, please make this year a great year. Please make this year a terrific year. Please bring the Geula this year. We suffered enough. We really did suffer enough. It's not, history repeats itself. There's a song, Shweki song, as well as another song that Shweki made recently, We Are America. But this is We Are a Miracle. It's pretty similar. We are a miracle. We have to realize we are a miracle. And Hashem keeps us here for one reason and one reason only. Hashem keeps us in this world for one reason only. Just because we're a Yid and Hashem loves us. And even when we make mistakes, it's like your mother and father, right? Mommy and daddy. We make a mistake. Of course, mom and dad is going to forgive us. They know what a mistake is. Hopefully. So, with that, I want to wish you a great, phenomenal night. Tomorrow I will be on from 1 o'clock to 2:30. And I'm asking everybody, before Rosh Hashanah, it's a special, special time to give tzedakah. It's the end of the year. It's the end of the year, and I have a thing here, a paper here that says Nisim owes, our radio owes. I'm not going to say the amount. We owe a lot of rent. And, you know, Baruch Hashem, I have a lot of listeners. Right now, I have 6,000 listeners that are listening on one place. And now it just turned 5,999, but it's 600,000 listeners altogether right now. And that's the way we're keeping it, all right? 599,000 listeners. So basically, doesn't matter how many listeners I have, but what we have to do is you have to use the money wisely. Tzedakah, tatzil mamavas. The only reason people are saved is because of tzedakah. Besides tshuva, yeah, tshuva is an important thing. But tzedakah, if you're not going to give tzedakah, if we're not going to give tzedakah, and I'm asking you, everybody, please, do your best to donate. Checks could be made out to 2829 Nostrand Avenue, which is written on the website, on J Radio website. If you don't have the website, you could as well make it out, make it out to me, and I'll bring it into J-Root. My address is 920 East 17th Street, apartment 114. 920 East 17th Street, apartment 114. You don't even have to mail it out. If you see me in shul, tell me Moshe. That's my name, Moshe. Well, I'm Moshe Grunfeld, actually, the famous DJ. But you can tell me Moshe Grunfeld. Moshe, I have a check for J-Root here, and you don't understand what it's going to do for me. Forget about Nisim. It's going to do for me. It's going to put a smile on my face. Show your appreciation to me before Rosh Hashanah. Show your appreciation to this wonderful, great, phenomenal radio station that doesn't ask you for so much. All we're asking right now is just to give a little bit. Anyways, I would like to thank Rav David Shlachta for calling in with an amazing, it was an unbelievable, a beautiful, terrific story. I don't have too much time left on the show, and I'm going to end off with a bracha. Bracha v'hatzlacha l'chol tov. Have a gebenched, a sweet. Next week, Be'ezras Hashem, I will be here, and I am working on something. If it doesn't happen, then we'll have a regular show. But I am working on something with a juggler, and I'm working on, Baruch Hashem, I have a lot of things that are going on, besides my job. A lot of things that are going on, and it's really wonderful. I wish everybody a great night. Don't go away. Rav Rosh Schachter follows me. And, yeah. And that should be all. And I wish you all a great, fantastic, yummy, delicious, sweet night. And I'll Be'ez Hashem speak to you tomorrow in good health. Have a great night, everybody.